Sveiki. Praeitą savaitę Versli Lietuva organizavo konferenciją apie dropshippingą iš Kinijos WeChat programėlėje. Prieš konferenciją jie susisiekė su manimi ir paprašė, jog savo grupėje Dropshipping Lietuva pažengusiems pasidalinčiau šiuo įvykiu su kiekvienu iš jūsų. Kadangi žinau, jog daugelis negalėjo sudalyvauti dėl tam tikrų priežasčių, kaip galbūt netinkamas laikas, arba nespėjote užsiregistruoti ir gauti patvirtinimo WeChat programėlėje iš kito WeChat nario, jums buvau pažadėjęs, kad šią konferenciją įrašysiu, sumontuosiu, pateiksiu, kad tikrai galėtumėt nepraleisti. Tai savo pažadą tęsiu. Pats norėčiau pasidalinti mintimis apie šią konferenciją. Tai mintis dvejopos ir iš tikrųjų konferencija buvo taip pat iš dviejų dalių. Tai pirma buvo trumpas pristatymas dropshippingo kaip veiklos modelio. Šitoj vietoj man nebuvo labai stipriai įdomu, kadangi aš puikiai žinau, kas tai yra ir nebejoju, kad daugelis iš jūsų irgi puikiai žinot ir supranta tą dropshippingo konceptą, bet viena kita mintis tikrai buvo įdomi, tikrai kurios nežinojau ir buvo įdomu išgirsti ir naudinga išgirsti. Na, o antra dalis buvo kur kas įdomesnė. Konferencijos pranešėjas Simon pristatė įrankį HyperSKU ir atsakė mums į kylančius klausimus apie tai, kaip dirbti su kinų tiekėjais. Tai būtent ta klausimų atsakymų sesija ir įrankio pristatymas man buvo labai įdomus ir iš tiesų informacija labai naudinga. Pats šio įrankio HyperSKU labai dar daug nespėjau pačiupinėti, labiau apie tai žinau teoriškai, bet ir praktiškai kiek jau spėjau su juo padirbti, tai po kol kas tik geri atsiliepimai ir džiugiausia naujiena, kad tai gali būti super duper pakaitalas AliExpressui, kuris pastaruoju metu bent mano nervais tai tikrai groja. Kas norite specialių staigmenų, kurias mums parašė Simon, tai rasite nuorodą į HyperSKU po šio video aprašymu. Taip pat rasite instrukciją, kaip užsiregistruoti į WeChat, tam, kad jeigu ateis dar kartą tokia proga sudalyvauti tam tikroje konferencijoje, kuri galbūt bus jums įdomi, tai kad nebūtų problemų ir galėtumėt spėti tą padaryti. O dabar bėgam ir žiūrim, ką ten turim.
Welcome to the presentation about dropshipping from China. My name is Simon. I'm based in China for the last almost 10 years, and I'm happy to talk to all of you about what dropshipping is all about. And it's been very popular during these times because economy is tough, and I think you all know it. So a lot of people are unsure about their job. They're looking for a side hustle. And sometimes dropshipping pops up as an interesting way to earn a little bit more money. And besides that, e-commerce has been booming. People are buying more and more online than ever before. So I want to share a little bit more to you about what dropshipping is, how to get it, how maybe it works, but also get an understanding about the service we offer and why these services are important. And as you know, there might be some experienced dropshippers, they experience some trouble when they do dropshipping. Welcome, Ivaras. Good to have you here, some dropshipping experience. Today, I will talk a bit more about this dropshipping, the business model behind dropshipping, and about HyperSKU, the company that is helping dropshippers and empowering, acting as more like an extension for them to give dropshippers local presence and help them with their sourcing and shipping and from China and fulfillment from China. So hope you enjoy. Please do let me know your questions after the presentation, because I'm trying to answer the messages at the same time. It's better to get the questions later. So a little about myself. So I'm from the Netherlands originally, so I'm from Europe. I've been in China for a while, in Shanghai. I worked for a trading company called Mainz International and grew that company to quite a significant business, became one of the owners. And for the last few years, I've helped companies to enter the Chinese market. And I'm one of the co-founders for DigiDutch, helping Western companies to sell online in China. I've joined an existing podcast, the China Business Cast, recently, last year summer. And actually, maybe funny to know, one of my first guests has been Lina from Litaal. So I will drop you the episode for you to take a look at. Maybe you like it, maybe you can learn something from it. It's all about doing business in China, China Business Cast. And since this May, I joined eTailer Hub, which HyperSKU belongs to. As some people do know a lot about dropshipping, maybe some of you are not that familiar with it. It's quite a known term when it comes to e-commerce. Actually, if you look at inbound China, you call it like a Daigo. It's also like a dropshipping business from China. Dropshipping basically means you sell products online without holding any inventory, with limited investment, and you work at your own hours. So a lot of young entrepreneurs, but also older entrepreneurs, they see this as a great opportunity to determine your own life, determine when you want to work. There's no salary. You basically earn money by adding a margin, and the investment is limited. You can make it as big as you want. Obviously, you can buy stock and put it in a warehouse, but you don't have to. So dropshipping is, in this case, about China, but it doesn't have to come from China. Dropshipping can be from any warehouse and ship it direct. So it's quite popular. It's been around for quite some years, and there are definitely some hurdles to overcome. The majority are using platforms like AliExpress and Alibaba to buy their goods. And we want to help and facilitate these sellers with making it easier and more convenient and more reliable. So this basically shows what dropshipping is about. You have a supplier, you have your online store, and you have a consumer. So as a seller, you buy from a supplier, in this case China, and then you add a margin. You offer it online and you sell it to the consumer. It sounds very simple maybe, but it might be less simple because there are a lot of things to involve. And in our case, we take care of the supply chain. So sourcing the product, bringing it to a warehouse, do the order fulfillment, and ship it to the consumer. And besides that, you have many other things to consider, like your advertising, your marketing, your product research, your customer service. So there's a lot of other things to consider that we don't cover, but that's definitely what dropshippers have to think of. So don't see it as an easy way, but it's definitely a good way to earn some extra money. So I want to help you understand the dropshipping business model, because it's important to understand how to earn money, how to make money. And China itself is a supplier of the world. You can buy anything in China that you want. And that's also the tricky part, because you can buy anything for any price, for any quality. You have to be very clear on what it is that you're looking for. So if you want a cheap product, you can get a cheap product, and the quality is also not that good. If you want a very sophisticated high-end product, it's also available. So it's very important to do your research on what it is you want to find in China and what you want to ship, and make sure that you actually get the quality that you want to offer. Because dropshipping, you're building your own brand. You have an online store, and most people are using platforms like Shopify to build their store and put the products there and build a brand story online. So the life cycle of dropshipping is quite interesting, because you have two ways. Either you have a multi-brand store, so you have one store with many different products on it. It can be from one category, it can be like fashion only, or it can be a mix of many gadgets or things that you would like to sell. Or you have a single product store where you have one product, one page, maybe some different sizes like M, L, XL, or different colors, red, blue, orange, etc. But the product itself is the same. And each of these are going through a similar life cycle. Once you want to, and I want to take you through this life cycle briefly to give you some understanding, and then you see the complexity as well. It starts with introduction. So basically you want to try whether the product that you have in mind is working, if it's suitable, and also possible to bring to scale. Once you see your product is selling really well, you start to think about putting in stock, either in a warehouse in China or overseas, on how you can bundle products. So maybe put buy two, get 50% discount, or an extra product you want to add to the basket so that your order value goes up. Or you add some features or packaging, like a thank you card, or maybe a logo or a label, something that you can actually easily add without too much investment, just to be able to grow. and make this growth go faster. Advertising definitely is one of them, but this is more about the services that we offer that I want to include in this life cycle. So once you reach your growth, you want to go for maturity. So you want to build up your brand. And probably recognize this life cycle. It's standard economics. It goes up and then it slowly goes down. You want to make this wave go as long as possible. So one of the two ways to do it is, if you're now selling in Lithuania and the product is selling well, you can scale to other countries. Or you can build a brand, and once people recognize your brand for good quality, you can add new products under that brand. In this way, you basically extend your life cycle to a longer period and reduce the decline, the faster decline, and just extend your life cycle a little bit longer. For the past 10 years, I've helped many companies with their shipping from China and also finding products from factories. So I visited many different factories, and I learned a lot. And I want to share you a case study itself on online selling. And I think every one of you might be wondering, okay, I'm buying online or maybe on AliExpress, and how is this possible to have these kind of cheap prices? And how is it possible for me to sell this maybe at a much higher price? And how does that work? So I built a case study took one product, and you see that you can buy one piece or a pack of two or a pack of three, each of them with their own price. So you have to realize that if you add one extra product into an order, it doesn't mean that you actually have to pay double the price. Normally the product price is less and the shipping cost is less. So that can be a very good way to increase your profit margin. You see that many online offer free shipping. It's never free shipping. So I want you to realize it's never free shipping. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist on AliExpress. It doesn't exist on Alibaba. It doesn't exist in any store. Normally they include the shipping into the price. And for some it's very low, and for some it's much higher. And the reason why it's very low is because it's also very slow. And the majority, and that was funny, during the coronavirus, it was one of the reasons why shipping was quite slow, is that China Post thought the air freight was too expensive, so they decided to ship many things by train, which then took maybe 40, 50, or 60 days to deliver. So this is something that, if you're not in control of how things are shipped, it can be quite tricky. But the business model itself, by bundling and upselling products, is very suitable to increase your profit margin, but you have to do good research to determine this. So breaking down this dropshipping model, many are advertising online. Maybe you've not seen it, but if you Google or check YouTube, 6-figure sellers, 7-figure sellers, they're all trying to give you courses on how to sell online. Very useful content for sure. But I try to break it down. Okay, what does a 7-figure seller mean? What does it come down to in volume? And so 7-figure basically means 1 million, right? $1 million US. Most cases it's US dollar. I put 3 cases in there. I have one for $10 US sales value per product, $30 US, and 60. So then I put the product cost, advertising, other, and roughly the gross profit, just to give you an idea of the business model and the profitability of dropshipping itself. So in case you're doing $1 million US, that means at $10 US, you're selling around 100,000 orders a year. If you do $1 million US with $30 US sales price, around 33,000. I put in some products under just to give you some reference of the feeling. So a bracelet, earplugs, and a massage gun as a reference. So the value that you sell online is very determining as well, of course, on your profit and your product cost. But it's not only that, it's definitely also the advertising that is quite a big chunk of your profit. So if you really want to be a 7-figure seller, the number of orders per day I've been put in there just to give you an understanding how many orders per day you have to do. And basically it's normally if you do more than 50 orders per day, you're quite a successful drop shipper. 50 to 100 or more than 100 a day. These are the volumes you basically have to look at. This obviously sounds awesome. You have a great margin to sell product in China. But there are many challenges as well that you have to consider. And I put in some of the challenges because I think it's important to educate people on that it's not that difficult. You consider the time difference, you consider the language, you consider not being here, not having a local partner. So product research is sometimes very difficult to find the right product that might be selling really well. And if you want to grow your business, then you have to most likely have multiple stores, especially if you have one product store, you have to build multiple stores. And if you have multiple products, then you also have to have multiple suppliers most of the time. And for the long term, as the product expires at some point when you saw in the life cycle, you have to consider some branding. You want to also differentiate from other people, from other sellers. Because most of the products that are being sold are also available on Amazon, on eBay. So by also start selling it on your own store, it's very important to think about your branding. Not just your online branding, but also your offline branding. What I mean with offline branding is also your packaging. So when a consumer receives your product, you want to give them the same experience as they got when they purchased it. And making an online store, doing some photoshopping and make some videos, it's not easy, but that's easier than actually making the product, adding the logo, making it a private label, make it really your own. That's much more challenging and bring that customer experience back, that brand experience back to the consumer. Because if I receive a parcel, I would be very happy always to receive one and open it. That's also an experience that you want to give anyone in China or anywhere else. You bought something, you're excited for it, you bought it for a reason, and once you receive it, you want to open it up. Advertising is also very difficult. The dropshippers in this call will definitely recognize it. Facebook is not always that easy. They sometimes block your account because customer review or other reasons. And cash flow. If you want to scale your business, the more orders you get, the more payments you have to make. So, for example, PayPal, they don't pay you the money directly. So sometimes they hold the money before you can get it yourself. So that becomes, sometimes you get into a squeeze. You don't have enough cash to buy new products. So although the investment is limited, if you have money coming in and that's delayed for 2 weeks, you still have to find other resources to start purchasing. Before scheduling this meeting, we got some questions already about dropshipping and maybe how we can overcome this. So I get a little bit more about our services. And when I explain these services, I hope to also give you some understanding on the difficulty of finding products in China and how to overcome this. So the aim, I know this topic is very specific on dropshipping, but I'm trying to make this also a little bit clear on doing business with China, because that's in the end what we want to share and what we want to educate. So what many people know about China is China has a lot of cheap products, low quality, cheap products. That's definitely the case. There are cheap products. You can also make them expensive with a higher quality. It's in the end the choice of the consumer. One of the questions that came in was the counterfeit goods. So basically a supplier who's selling a product or a brand or design that's not in their ownership. And that's happening for sure. There are Nike shoes, fake Nike shoes, or Gucci, or maybe a design that has been registered by someone else. And China are quite opportunistic in that sense. So it's very important to do the product research yourself and see reviews, check reviews, do some research, maybe even check the supplier, whether they have the right documents or the license to sell. And that's part of the research is in the end what can save you a lot of trouble afterwards. Some actually get claims from lawyers because they're selling a product that's not allowed. And you always find out afterwards. You don't find out in the beginning. So that's why the product research in this life cycle is very important to do that. That will help you to protect yourself from getting into trouble. So that's the type of research, especially in the introduction stage, is less relevant. Once you see it has potential, make sure that you do your homework. Make sure that you have the products fulfilled with the local regulations and that you do some research on what is possible. And we ourselves don't do the legal check on licensing because there are too many designs. We're talking about millions and millions of products. So it is very difficult. It's still a difficulty. I'm not saying that I can help you overcome this. The only way to overcome is to do the research. And then maybe the most challenging one is the cultural part. I mean, communicating with China is not that easy, even if you speak the language. I've been here for 10 years and I speak Chinese, but it's still challenging at some point because you have a different culture and different understanding. So it's very important to clarify the things, whether your understanding is also correct. So summarize what you take away from it, because we always have their own logic. So, and make sure that you write it down so there can be no confusion about this later. So don't make too many assumptions and be quite clear on this. Chinese itself, most suppliers, they just want to do business, and they're not too much long-term oriented. Some are, but majority wants short-term business, and that's a difficulty. So be very clear on what it is you're looking for. Really do your homework and clarify what you mean. When it comes to dropshipping, there are some suppliers that are very unreliable, and they open the store, close them, open a new one, close them, open a new one. So it's very hard to find them. So I don't really recommend working with AliExpress. We don't work with AliExpress ourselves because they're middlemen. They're middlemen, and they're not even touching the parcel. They buy it for you from a supplier, and the supplier ships out directly. Some of them just give you even a fake tracking number. They haven't even sent it out. They give you a tracking number, and it never really has been sent out. So that's why all the orders that we buy, we ship first to our warehouse in China, so that we know that actually the product has arrived, that the product matches with what we have purchased, and that already overcomes some of the problems and the hurdles that you will face later when the customer, the consumer, received a product or a parcel that was not suitable or not what they ordered. At HyperSKU, we want to empower online sellers. We want to help online sellers, particularly dropshippers, with their sourcing, their fulfillment, and their shipping from China. In this way, we can localize. We're localized, and we're really expanding our business into Europe. My responsibility is Europe to localize the business of this China company. And you see Chinese companies going overseas, and it's not easy. Not just like a Western company entering China, it's also not easy. So we need local people to help this overcome. So also, if you're listening to this and you think it's interesting, we're always looking for partnerships, looking for partners that have local experience and knowledge and can help us to grow and add value. We want to be the back-end operation, and we have developed an IT solution, a platform for this, so that it can all be integrated, transparently visible, and there's nothing hidden. Everything is very clear and open. So for example, if you compare AliExpress, I think most people will know AliExpress, part of Alibaba Group. They mostly do international shipping, B2C, from China directly to the consumer. You can buy it yourself, for sure. And you can find millions of products. They have the biggest offer of supply that you can think of. China is the factory of the world, and that's going to stay this way for the next 5 years. But you have sometimes to deal with middlemen, and not always they can find the product that you are looking for. The prices can be a little bit higher because they add a margin to this, and they offer you shipping cost that is very, very low delivery rate or very bad quality of delivery, that you sometimes have to wait 40 to 50 days. The tracking is limited. Sometimes you don't even know when it's arriving or when it's shipped out. So, sorry. And the communication itself can be a headache. So basically these things that you see are we trying to overcome. We're trying to have a local team that speaks multiple languages. We have a database our own with different products that we've sourced already for other dropshippers and from trusted suppliers. So we try to buy directly from the supplier and eliminate the middleman. We also help you source based on your requests. We try to do discounts on bulk ordering and offer shipping within 14 days, 1-4. So within 2 weeks, basically, from the factory to the consumer, sometimes even less. If you put stock in our China warehouse, it can be up from 7 days. And tracking is very detailed. So it gives your customer also the confidence that it's reliable and it's clear. So one reason we want to work with local partners is also we want to optimize our system and integrate things and makes as many things as automatic as possible to save these manual errors by copy pasting tracking numbers or order information and taking away all these manual mistakes that still happen if you work with a sourcing agent or if you have another partner that's using Excel sheets. So when you have multiple suppliers, in our case, you just talk to us and we take care of your suppliers. That's basically our added value, that's our service. So we offer a price including a margin. Our platform is completely free of charge. You pay basically once you place an order with us. That's our business model, and this is how we also have been growing for the last 2 years. It is an all-in-one dropshipping solution. So we are a supplier, a fulfillment handler, and also a virtual assistant. It will save you time, and most people underestimate the time you have to spend in the after service, the customer service, the order handling, the questions that are coming in, communicating with your suppliers. All of this are kind of a hassle, and that's the part that we want to take away. Source it from the factory, doing the quality control, help you with the packaging, making the fulfillment automatic, faster shipping, offering free storage from our warehouse in China, and maybe even a return or a reship solution. So that's something that we really value. We want to empower you with your online adventure. So I mentioned these challenges before, and I want to share with you this supply, basically in this growth chart, you will see the life cycle. You will see it starts with the project research, then you want to go to scale, running multiple stores, dealing with multiple suppliers. You start to do the branding, advertising, and you run into cash flow issues. So for us, these challenges are all part of the life cycle. And each of these challenges, they come along the way. And we're there from the beginning, from introduction till maturity. We're happy to support, share our team, share our knowledge. Currently, we are reaching the end of the year, so this is one of the main holiday seasons. Most people, they're actually buying orders online. The fourth quarter of the year is actually normally 30% or 40% of the total annual business. So it's a very big, maybe 50% even, yeah. So maybe half of your business comes in the fourth quarter. So peak holidays, festivals like Black Friday, Christmas, Halloween, New Year, many other things you can consider. So during this year has been a crazy year, I think, for everyone. So also different products have been running really, really well. So I want to share a little bit with you which kind of products do really well. And the products that I mentioned are not that exceptional. I mean, think about it, baby products. How long has the coronavirus been going? So almost 6 months, right? 7 months maybe. So a baby, normally people spend more time at home, so probably more babies will come. Then home decoration, you spend more time at home. Office wear and study wear, I mean, you're studying and working from home, so you need the goods. Gardening, you spend more time in the garden. We realize that health becomes more important and you cannot go to the gym, so fitness. And sleeping, you spend more time in the house, taking a nap, sleeping, quality sleep. So these are product categories that have been doing really, really well, much better than ever before. So if you're looking into any category that might be successful for you, take a look at these and hopefully it will help you to build your business. Time is running out, so I want to thank you all. Thank you for listening to me. You can follow us on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn or WeChat. I include my QR code to give you maybe follow me there and get more information. Please let me know your question. Let me know if you need any support. I'm happy to help you. Also after this meeting, just let me know or contact Litao, and they were happy to introduce me to you as well. Thank you a lot, and hopefully you have a great afternoon. Thank you, Avaras, for your question. We do check, because we buy from the supplier directly. We know We also check the link on what products is actually what the product is. Normally we get a link from a product and then we start to source. So we know already if somebody's looking for a product that is branded. So we don't do brands, none of the brands. So especially the global brands, we don't do that. So that's something we don't do. And all the goods will come to our warehouse. So in the warehouse we check. We check if the product matches the orders, whether the quality is okay, before we can ship out. So we don't want to cause any issues for the online sellers. We cannot guarantee that the products that are non-branded have any patency or problems. That part is very difficult for us to do that.